As I look out over the crowd tonight, I have to admit that I'm petrified of all the people I'm imagining in their underwear, but moreover, of the future. Please don't be mistaken. I'm as excited as anyone else about what lies ahead in the future. But starting a new chapter means that a past chapter has to come to a close. And it means that you, my friends, will be heading in a new direction, a direction separate from my own. Before we choose our individual paths, please allow me to share what I've learned about friends and friendship. Friendships change. Many of us have friends that we made in kindergarten. Some of us hold fast to that special person we first met when we moved here. A few of us have always fit right in. A few have just found their places. A few are still searching. Whatever the situation may be, expect these friendships to change. They will change. But stand by your friends. They're worth it. Allow new friendships to form and grow. Each of us will meet a vast array of people. Don't let yourself be chained to a certain type of person with interests and feelings identical to your own. Relish the opportunity that comes with meeting new people and making new friendships, learning fresh ideas and experiencing new opinions, and enjoying these differences. Renew yourself through new friendships. Most importantly, do not be too sad. This is not the end. And as Richard Bach stated, don't be dismayed at goodbyes. A farewell is necessary before we can meet again. And meeting again, after moments or lifetimes, is certain for those who are friends. Thank you for allowing me to be your class president and your friend.
have Sheila Drake and Jeremy Harvey. Each one will come forward at this time and present their goods.
For the past few weeks, I've been seriously contemplating what I was going to say tonight. This is something I've been looking forward to for quite some time, and I knew it needed to be an eloquent, carefully crafted, finely tuned piece of artwork with a great deal of time and thought put into it. But when I finally began writing last night, I still didn't have a clear picture on what I was going to speak about. I had asked several people, what they thought I should talk about, and I got many interesting answers. I first went to a man I admire and respect very much. I knew that if anyone had a clever or funny idea, it would be him. He didn't offer much advice though, but he did say that my speech should be like a girl's skirt. Short enough to be interesting, but long enough to cover the subject. He didn't want me to release his name, but I will tell you that he's been my basketball and volleyball coach for the past 4 years. He also gave me another word of advice, but my mother said I can only tell one and still appear respectable. So if you still want to know what that is, you can talk to me after the ceremony. Since he didn't give me anything I could appropriately speak about at length, I asked my kind, considerate, thoughtful brother Trent, and he said he didn't care as long as I mentioned something nice about it. Now I knew I couldn't ask one sibling without also asking the other one. So I went to Jennifer and I asked her what she thought I should speak about. And she said she didn't care as long as I didn't embarrass her too much. Obviously I was going nowhere fast until I remembered what my band teacher, Mr. McGeechy, had told me. He said, "Sheila, just talk to your class." This was the best piece of advice I'd received so far, so this speech is directed to you, the Bolivar High School class of 1998. I have learned volumes the past 13 years at this school. But the best lessons had nothing to do with math, English, science, or any other subject. They came from you. They were life lessons, and I can't begin to recall them all, but one important one does come to mind. And since I knew Dr. Cooper would be doing his kindergarten speech, I decided to kind of tie it into that. This lesson also came to me in kindergarten, and I'm sure many of us have been in the same situation. I was teeter-tottering at recess when the teacher rang her bell for us to all come in. And when she rang the bell, I happened to be at the high end of the teeter-totter, and the girl at the low end immediately hopped off and ran towards the teacher, sending me plummeting to the ground. From this incident, I learned that it's a good idea to teeter-totter with friends that you can trust, because a good friend would never leave you on top of the teeter-totter, There are around 65 of us graduating tonight who began kindergarten together at Leonard Elementary School 13 years ago. We've had several friends move away, but we've also gained several friends throughout the years. I can honestly say that I would be happy to teeter-totter with any of you, because I know you would not leave me stranded at the top, and you wouldn't let me fall. You haven't so far, and I know you won't in the future. Now, since you have taught me that very important lesson, I feel like I should share one with you too. It is a piece of advice I read in a book just last night, and I realized that it not only applied to myself, but it could also apply to my class. This advice is don't ever be afraid to fail. And I'm probably speaking more to myself than anyone, because being afraid to fail is part of what got me up here in the first place. But it does also cost me a lot too. For example, I rarely shot in a basketball game for fear that I would miss. As I read this article last night, I began to realize everything I could miss in life if I lived in fear of failure. This message was first published in the Wall Street Journal and then in Chicken Soup for the Soul, and I'd like to share part of it with you. It reads, "You have failed many times, although you may not remember.